guys, this is Steve at stevephoto.com, and I am here this morning with the Sony A390 and the Sony A290. They're pretty much twin brothers, twin sisters, whatever you want to call them, except the 290 is pretty basic. It's like $4.99, I believe, retail. It's a DSLR from Sony, the A mount. It's an alpha. Has steady shot built inside the body, 14.2 megapixels, 2.7 inch clear photo LCD, and something that new cameras seem to be doing, at least Sony's, is the help guide on camera for those who do not know what they're doing, which is cool. So this is like a starter DSLR set. They're both, like I said, they're twins almost, except the A390 is $50 more, and for that $50 you get a snazzy button on top to switch from live view to the optical viewfinder. You don't get that on the A290. So I'm going to take a look at the A390, since for $50 more you get the live view switch and you get the retractable LCD, which is cool. So for 50 bucks I would go for the 390 in a heartbeat. It also has quick AF live view, they call it. So let's turn on the camera and see what we can get here. You have the settings here. You do have a control dial up front to change your aperture. Let me take the lens cap off before the camera has a fit. You have that to control the aperture, and this tells you all of the settings that you have your camera set at. But if you go to the menu button right up here, you can set all your menu settings, which is pretty typical of any DSLR. Your aspect ratio, your quality, your autofocus illuminator to help you autofocus, steady shot, do you want it on or off, your color space, do you want long exposure noise reduction, most people leave that on, high ISO noise reduction, most people leave that on as well, iStart AF, this is pretty interesting. There's two little sensors here underneath the viewfinder, and when you raise it to your eye it automatically starts the autofocus. So you don't even have to press down the shutter. Whenever you aim it, the camera through the viewfinder, looking through it, it'll autofocus automatically. So that's kind of cool. Control dial setup is set to the aperture priority mode, playback, LCD brightness, power save, display color. Do you want the help guide on or off? So you can turn it off, which is cool. Language. And the basic stuff, mass storage, audio signals, and that's it. The menu's fairly simple. It doesn't get overly complex, which I like. The camera feels a little bulky. It's not big by any means. It's not like a D700, but it feels substantial. It comes with an 18-55 lens, which I found to be actually rather good. I found it to be better than the Sony Nex series 18-55 as far as distortion goes. But the A390 seems to be a pretty cool DSLR for about $550. Another thing I like about it is the SD cards, or your Sony memory sticks, do not have to go in at the bottom by the battery, but there's a separate compartment that you open up right here. It slides open, and you have room for an SD card, your memory stick, and your a switch here to switch from SD to memory stick, so whichever you're using. There's a HDMI port right there, and of course the USB port to hook the camera up to the computer if you wanted to do so. I found the Sony A390, I found it fairly quick to autofocus. I find the quality of the images a little soft with JPEGs, but with RAW they seem to do very well. I like the raw images that I get out of the Sony. Seeing that this is just a quick review of this camera, I posted a few of the images I did get with the camera. And you can see those on the website at stevephoto.com. If you're watching this on YouTube, just click on over to stevephoto.com and you can see the Sony A390 review. It's just a quick review. It's kind of a basic beginner SLR, and it's not a bad one at all. Up at the top you have your aperture priority mode, your program mode, your shutter priority mode. You can go all manual. Then you have your scene modes, which you usually see in these beginner DSLRs. No flash, because there is a pop-up flash right here. You can set it to full auto mode. The lens has an autofocus manual focus setting, and like I said, it does have steady shot built inside the body, so image stabilization is there. One thing I don't like about the Sony A390 is the viewfinder. I find it very small, and you might be able to see, but I usually prefer viewfinders that have a little eye cup that stick out. It makes it more comfortable, and it blocks out the light when you look through it. And the Sony A390 and the 290, they both have these flat, kind of cheap feeling viewfinders, so when you put this against your face and look through it, there's all kinds of light leaking in and it's a distraction. I don't like the viewfinder, plus it's pretty small. It's a very small viewfinder. But other than that, for about 500 bucks, 550 for the 390, it's not a bad camera at all. I actually quite enjoyed it. It's been a while since I shot a DSLR. I think the last one was the Pentax KX. Somebody's going to ask me, do you prefer the Pentax KX or the Sony Alpha A390? That's a tough one. I would have to say the Pentax KX I would choose over the Sony, because the high ISO performance, which is the second thing I'm not too fond of, it seems like it starts to get a little noisy after 400, which is like, I mean, this was like years ago that we would get noisy 400. It's not noisy at 400, but it can be. I did take a shot at ISO 400 of a frog, and I see some noise in it, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. But overall, a pretty solid, substantial feeling DSLR for the beginner. Very easy to use. If you're new to photography, this can be a good SLR for you to choose, though there probably are better options. Like, for example, this doesn't even have video. There's no video on this. The camera I'm using to film this is the Sony NEX5, and that does have video. It has 1080 high-def video for about the same price. And it's much smaller. But quality-wise, this is better. This is going to give you better quality pictures with the kit lenses between the two. So check out the little written review and the specs online at stevehufpphoto.com, and I hope to see you there soon. Bye! Oh yeah, let's not forget the A290. Here they are. $499, $549. Which would I choose? $549. You get the live view switch and the retractable LCD, which can work wonders if you're shooting up high and you want to angle the LCD down. So I almost think they should have just got rid of this guy. It's the same camera, and for 50 bucks, why not? What's 50 bucks in the long run when you're spending 500? So hope you enjoy the little mini review, and I will see you soon. This is Steve at stevehufpphoto.com. Bye.